Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am in the process of doing another video talking about some astrological signs and stuff like that, but I had another idea to do a video today talking about why it could be that many of us attract so many toxic people into our lives. And I know for most of us, we think about this often. Most of the time, I think we do so because, first of all, we talk about it, so we feel that way, so that we focus our attention on it, so that that's what happens more in our lives. So, but at the same time, I know there are other reasons that we are not really paying attention to. So let's get into those reasons why you could be attracting maybe the wrong types of people into your life. And this should change all of that for you. So thanks for watching. Let's get into it. The first sign, the first reason I would say that you're attracting toxic people into your life is not knowing yourself. Lack of knowing who you are. Who am I? Ask yourself, who am I? You know, not knowing yourself, what your standards are, what you're gonna fall for, what you know, like they say, stand for nothing or fall for anything. That saying, that was something I heard from when I was a little child, and it was powerful then, it's powerful now. What do you stand for? What wouldn't you tolerate, and what would you accept? What are your preferences? Easy. When you don't know these things, these basic things about yourself, and everybody thinks they know, but they don't really know. Do you really know yourself? You know, you make yourself easy prey. Predators can smell a person who's lost, a person who's, you know, trying to be something that he or she is not, and they're gonna attack them first, more than likely. Where's my coffee? Just a second. Number 2. You're too easygoing. That means, you know, easygoing is great. Being easygoing is wonderful because, you know, you don't want the world on your shoulders. But at the same time, when you're too easygoing, you're always going to see the bright side of everything. You're never going to get angry. Even if you get angry at yourself for being angry at them. Like, no, you have to set standards and you have to live by them. You also have to remember that, you know, others who deceive and stuff like that, who are out to get you, they don't care about what bright side you see. And then sometimes you're going to wonder why they're still in your life. That's because, you know, they're saying that you're just going to make a silver lining around whatever they do, and they're going to be back in your life tomorrow. Number 3, you let them do the picking. Letting them do the picking. When you settle for what comes along, what just comes along, it's like you're basically giving away your free will. You're giving away your own power. You're giving them the power over you to choose for you. So you are the one in control. All of this comes from, number 1, knowing yourself. You have to be in control. You have to be the one doing the picking, okay? Sometimes, you know, things and situations come along just randomly. I also feel like the universe, things aren't just coincidence. The universe kind of aligns. We align with the universe, and the universe allows things in according to our frequency, our vibration. But it's still up to you to decide if this was a random, one of those things that just blew in, or if this is something that actually was steered toward you, you know, and decide from there, moving forward. Number 4, you're always the fixer-upper. You know, you're the helper, you're the healer, you're the, you know, you always are trying to remedy other people's problems. You're not, you know, dealing with your own problems. You know, you can't fix someone else who's broken. You can only try to work on you. And trying to help everybody else is going to leave you empty, and it's going to leave you also, when you're empty and drained, you're going to be open to all those other predators who's going to come in there, swoop in there, and try to save you when you were the one who never needs saving. It's someone else who needed the saving, but now you're broken and you're open to them. Alanis Morissette, there's a song she had back at Jagged Little Pill album. I'm not the doctor. Okay? Number 5, giving people the benefit of the doubt. Dr. Phil talked about this years ago, that in this day and age, that is highly, highly critical to whether or not to your happiness being sabotaged, to your happiness, period. Benefit of the doubt. You know, hey, everybody's got a story, right? Everybody does have a story. But what kind of story was it? Was it a horror? Was it a romantic comedy? Was it just a comedy? Was it a cartoon? What kind of story was it, you know? So some people's stories are strictly suspense and science fiction. Some people's stories are, you know, like I said, macabre, like. So doing this oftentimes works against you. Sometimes it is good to actually have your mind open to the possibilities that it could be one way or another, but you're not going to put your head on a chopping block to say that that's what happened. You're going to keep an open mind about it, and you're going to just see what their response is, whatever they've done, see how they handle it first before you go in and try to still fix this whole situation that you did not create. Take your power back. Number 6, you were the angel, their angelic vision. You want to stay true to the vision they had for you. You don't want to disappoint them. You want to be the one who is with this halo on to them, to whoever that may be, who's in your life, who's toxic, who's like tearing you down or whatever. You still don't want to disappoint them. Deep in your subconscious, you still feel like, you know, they have this idea of you that you want to stay true to. That's going to cost you. That's going to cost you big time. Number 7, just being nice. Just being nice. If you notice nowadays, if you walk up and down the street, if you go downtown is filled with tourists. If you go downtown, you know, you get maybe out of every 100 people you see, you're going to get probably one response, like one greeting, one gesture, like hello, like good morning, or something like that. Generally, people don't do that shit anymore. People are so cold-hearted and so like selfish and stuff like that. Manners and respect, the old days, the adage that manners and respect will take you through the world, people don't really know about that anymore. People have thrown that away a long time ago. Many people have. Some still do, and you notice them immediately when you see them. But for the most part, it's not that way. So sometimes just smiling with a person when you greet them, if someone says hey, when you say hey, you don't just say hey. You say hello, like you actually engage your face. You actually are happy to see them. You're showing them kindness, you know. But people take that for granted nowadays a lot, and they think you're a pushover. So you don't want to be too friendly. You don't want to be too smiley, too, you know, all of that. You don't want to change who you are either. But in the midst of all that, you still want a balance. You want a healthy balance. You don't want anyone to take you for what you're not. Number 8, you have unhealthy boundaries. That's like what I said, part of number 1, not knowing who you are. Number 2 is not knowing what you're going to stand for, what you're going to tolerate. This is number 8, unhealthy boundaries. You think that because you're in a relationship, this person should be able to do this to you. This person if you cry, so what? Yes, people do have to cry sometimes. That's what having a boyfriend is all about. No, darling, that's not true. What boundaries have you set? What boundaries have you not set? You know, not setting a boundary is the same as having unhealthy boundaries then. So you have to set healthy boundaries for yourself, for whatever relationship you're in. You have to set healthy boundaries, or people are never going to know what you stand for. People are going to overstep those boundaries all day long as they don't know. People don't read your mind, so you have to make sure you set them for yourself. Number 9, you're such a good listener. You listen, you listen, you listen, you listen. People talk. Some people just met you and they tell you all their whole life story because you're such a good listener, because you have sympathy in your heart, because you're like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, oh my goodness, but did you get it sorted out? Like, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor, you know. I do love psychology, but I don't intend to fix people's brains, okay? I don't intend to fix your relationship. I give you advice, I give you suggestions, I give you tips, you know. I want you to go out there and seek for yourself how you know you. You know you more than I can ever know you. So listening is great, but at the same time, know where to draw the line. And this is where the unhealthy boundary part of it comes in, because just as simple as listening, somebody can be telling you something for 5 minutes and you're really caring because you saw the person before, the day before that or something, or they can be telling you something for 3.5 hours and you never got a word in edgewise. You see, that's where the unhealthy boundary comes in. You got to know where to cut that. Cut it. And number 10, it's part of like number 9 too. You stuck around a little too long. You didn't know when to just bounce. You gotta dip sometimes. Just say, you know what, I had enough. You have to tell them like why. You just say, okay, yes, well, I've gotta go now. You know, we're gonna hopefully catch up a little bit later, and I hope things get better for you. Whatever, you know. Okay, and you turn that key, babe. Like it's time to get out of here. Don't hang up. Like, it makes you seem like you are so much more interested than you really are. It makes you seem like you may not really want to go. Like you have problems and stuff like that too. So like you're desperately seeking a friendship or something. You're sticking around, wherever it's a relationship, friendship, whatever it is. What I want to say is make sure that, you know, once you start to elevate your mind, once you start to seek the more positive things in nature, you start to act and behave more positively, more, you know, progressively, proactively. A lot of things, a lot of these toxic people are not going to even be around you anymore. They're not going to really be attracted to you anymore because they think you're like, you know, different. And they know what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. So it's time for you and me and all of us to remember we are in control of our destiny, we are in control of our lives, and we are in control of who we allow to penetrate that, who we allow in our mind space, who we allow to, like, you know, just come in. And toxic people, for the most part, they mess with your mind. They don't so much come in and try to poison you or something, but the mind is what they're going to try and attack. So that's what you have to safeguard. That's what you have to, like, remember to protect each and every day. And you're not doing it out of a place of hatred or anything like that. You're doing it out of a place of self-love. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already to my channel, because like I just want to talk about so many more things that I think are important for us to discuss, things that people are scared sometimes to get into and stuff in real life. And so sometimes I prefer to talk to you, the world out there, than even people who may not really understand. So I'll be back later with some other topics, but until then, guys, peace and love, and blessed be.